Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emmy. This video is made for those people who procrastinate a lot but would like to say no to procrastination. So if you are one of those people, then stay on because I am going to share with you 3 big tips to get you out of procrastination. Subscribe for more upcoming videos on studies, lives, and dreams. So let's get started. So I always tell myself that the only deadlines I really have are those that I have set for myself and I have set for my life, and not those the school has set for me. I think if you only look to the school deadlines, then you're not really far away from procrastination. I'm not saying the school deadlines are not good. I'm saying those are not enough. I guess you probably had that sort of experience. Your semester exam is coming up. You have your research papers, lab reports, essays, projects, presentations turn in. This can feel really insane, but there is a way to manage it and not to procrastinate. Now, I had a similar experience in my 10th grade. During the second semester, I had 2 research papers to do, lab reports, and essays to write just before, I think a month before the semester exam. So that's a lot of work to do, but I successfully managed to do them well and not procrastinated. So what I've done is I have set my deadline for the research paper a week before its final deadline. So for me, the deadline is that day, and for the school, the deadline is a week after. So I successfully finished my research paper within the deadline that I have set for myself, and then for the rest of the week I reviewed them, I made sure they're really good, and then I turned in. For my lab report, I literally had set the deadline 10 days before the final due date. So this might cause a lot of work before when everyone else is chilling because they think the deadlines are really far away from them. So I had to work more and harder than other people during the early days of that month. But once everyone started to get into that exam mode, they would find out that they actually have the research paper, the lab reports, the essays to write, and that leaves them with very little time to review for the exams, and therefore it can feel very under pressure. So after I have after I have finished all my research papers and lab reports, that leaves me with plenty of time to review those works and then prepare for my exams at the same time, because I don't have that pressure to finish the research paper and the essay and the lab report because I have already done them. So I didn't procrastinate at all. I just went through that process. For me, it was quite hard, and that's true, but at least you don't have to feel under pressure for finishing the things that you have to finish. And it really feels amazing, when other people are still rushing through the things. You are already all settled down and you have everything done, and it's just the exams you have to prepare for. And also procrastination, what suffers is not just your mind but also your body, because procrastination leads to a lot of stress, which increases the hormone, the stress hormones within your body, weakens your immune system, make you less concentrated when you do the works because your brain is too stimulated to be concentrated. So a lot of these negative effects that procrastination brings would even add more to the amount of stress you feel. So really try hard to set your own deadlines for yourself and make sure you get things done before it is due. And I think this is so important. Don't just leave everything to the end, because I think the more time you think you have, the less you actually have. So be long-sighted and plan early. Okay, so this next thing requires more effort to be put into. So by always being ahead, I don't just mean being ahead with your deadlines, but actually being ahead with your schoolwork. So my habit is I make notes, or I read about a topic before the teacher teaches it. Now you might think, well, isn't that just a waste of time because you're actually learning that thing twice? No, it's not a waste of time. It actually saves you a lot of time. And let me tell you why. When our brain encounters something new, like a new stimuli, it needs time to absorb it. And when you are learning at school or doing lesson, your brain usually does not have that amount of time, enough time to absorb the content well, because you're learning in the classroom and the teacher might go a bit fast to get the things done. So when you return home, you might be a little confused. What did I learn? What was the content? And so you would end up finding yourself spending even more time to learn, to understand that topic. Whereas if you live this first time at home with yourself, when you have enough time to allow your brain to absorb those information well, then when you go to the classroom, the teacher teaches it. That just reinforces your memory even better. And so after that class, you will truly find yourself understanding the content well. So that when other people are still trying to get content, you already starting to, practice past papers or do some more advanced works. And this has always been the case for me, especially for economics and psychology. I always make notes before the teacher teaches a topic, so that during class, so when the teacher is about to teach that topic, I already understood that topic. So there could be places in which you don't understand a particular detail of a topic well, and then you save that question and ask it during class. So after that class, I am fully familiar with that specific topic that I learned. And this is also the reason why I have all my psychology essays. If you're a psychology student, IB psychology students, you know how many essays you have to write. It's about like 70, 80 or so. It's huge. But I have them all written down like 3 months before. Now it's January. It's 3 weeks from our mocks, and so we can say like 4 months before the mocks, I have already written all of my essays, and that really saves me so much energy. Because during class, in psychology especially, when you learn the content before the teacher teaches it, you can directly start to write the essay during class when the teacher is reinforcing the content. You can ask questions, you can ask for, okay, is this evaluated point valid? This really saves you time, so that you don't have to leave all the works at home. So I think this is the strategy that I have always been using with psychology and economics. Other things like chemistry, a bit less, because our teacher is really efficient with the classes, so I'll just stay with her. In terms of math, well, after I have dropped to Math SL, I think literally the second half of the syllabus I just never followed in class. I have always self-taught myself, and during class when the teacher is explaining, I'll just do some practice questions and familiarize myself with the content. Because for math, it's really just about practice. The things you have to know is very little. You just need a lot of time to do a lot of practice, and that's, I think, the best way to get familiar with the content. I know that might sound a bit rude in some ways, but for me, that's a good way of learning. You can't always be the good student in order to do well. You have to act wisely and use wisely your time. Okay, so meditation has really nothing to do with academic skills. It's more a skill for life in general. As I said before, procrastination has very negative effect on your body. So practicing meditation is a very good way to relieve some of your negative thoughts and stress. And this is especially the case for us as perfectionists. I know a lot of you are. We as perfectionists, we like to enlarge that sense of procrastination. We always make things seem worse than we really are. And I totally understand, because I do that too. So if you are that type of person, then meditation is really the road for you to take. It does not have to be long. Spend like 5 to 10 minutes every day, preferably during the morning. Sit down and just relax. Let everything out of your mind, and then just observe your breath in and out through your mouth and through your nose. And after you've finished your meditation, you can really feel that difference, not just mentally but also physically. All right. When I first started meditation, the effects were not that evident, but once you keep practicing meditation and just make it a habit of your life, then it's really going to help you a lot. Now, a very common mistake that people make when facing procrastination, so they've done a lot of work, or perhaps a lot of work, and then they think they're tired, they don't want to study anymore, they need some relax. So they take out their phones, iPads, computers, and start to play games. And they might think that's a good way of relaxation. But this is actually not a good way of relaxation, because after you finish your video games, your procrastination becomes even more intense. And this is the reason why, because when you procrastinate, your brain is actually too stimulated in order to concentrate well and get the work done. So if you play video games, you're actually making your brain even more stimulated, and this makes it even more difficult to concentrate and to get the work done. So that's why a lot of people just enjoy the short-term kind of relaxation with the video games, but then feel much worse after they finished play the video games. So meditation is a way to lower the levels of stimulation of your brain and get you to calm down, so that you can later on focus better and concentrate better to get your work done. So those are really my top tips for stopping procrastination. They're not the only ones, but for me those work really well together. And I reiterate again, procrastination is not just mentally damaging, it's also physically damaging. So I think everyone as a student should, or as a human being, should try to minimize that sense of procrastination. And we can do it, we can all do it. It's not that stopping to procrastinate is an impossible task. You just need to put in some effort, you need to put in some heart, you need to change your view of your life a bit in order to, be long-sighted and not just focus on the short-term things, really look far and plan early, and sometimes even if you do procrastinate a bit, that's okay, because we're not perfect, and sometimes there can be things out of our expectation. So that's it for today's video. I hope it has helped you, and for more upcoming videos, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.